Well, hello everybody. I hope you are doing well. Before we jump into today's story time, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoy this video, share this video with people across the social media thing, as we are just trying to have a good time and maybe develop what we're hoping is kind of a field guide to everyday life. And that's one reason why I want to share my stories, is I hope it's entertaining, but also maybe to inspire you that you have a story worth sharing as well, even if they're silly and funny and maybe slightly embarrassing. I want to tell you about one today, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you the moral of the story before I jump into it, and that is always read the fine print. Always read the fine print. What I mean by that is always look at all of the things, make sure you know what you're doing, okay? I want to tell you about the time that I got into a helicopter. So it is very widely known among all of my friend circle that Pastor Brandon gets very motion sick. And can I tell you, it is frustrating. I have to drive if I go somewhere a long way, because if I'm in the passenger seat or the back seat, I get car sick. I have to sit in the middle of a plane when I go somewhere because I get air sick. Motion sickness, bad, right? Well, several years ago, my wife and I went on a trip to see the Grand Canyon. And while we were going to see the Grand Canyon, it was amazing and it was beautiful, and I wanted to see more. Well, we looked, and they had this cheap rate, this like deal where you could get on a helicopter and go into the Grand Canyon. And I did not read all of the instructions and all of the fine print of the what it was like if you wanted to go. Didn't even Google to see if you have a problem with motion sickness, should you get on a helicopter? If I had have done even a cursory glance at Google, you know what, at least I may not do it now, but you know what one of the first things that happens if you put helicopter and motion sickness, it will tell you, if you have a trouble with motion sickness, don't you dare get in a helicopter. But I didn't see that. I just wanted to enjoy the Grand Canyon. So I go, and my wife wants nothing to do with this. So I say, sure, sign me up. I can't wait. I get in a helicopter and I am so excited. Never been in a helicopter before, and I get to go see the Grand Canyon. This was going to be an adventure and a journey. And let's also get this out of the way, I'm a pastor. I love having stories to share with people. And so I was like, hey, this is going to be a story. I know it is. And it is. So we get in this helicopter, and at first I'm so excited. It doesn't feel any different. I can't wait. And this guy was awesome. He had a lot of great facts, and he was really a tour guide. And we go down into the Grand Canyon as we just go for a while, get there, go down into the Grand Canyon, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. I can't imagine how beautiful it is for people who's not colorblind. I mean, I'm colorblind, and it was beautiful to me. I can't imagine how beautiful it is to everybody else. And he's showing us all this stuff, and he's telling us this. And as he's going, I think also maybe he was someone who wanted to be a fighter pilot but never made it for whatever reason, because he's swerving and going a little bit and going up and over and banking around and just kind of just woo, you know. And as he's doing this, I'm starting to not feel so good. I'm starting to get lightheaded, and I'd been motion sick many times before, so I know the feeling. And I'm going, I'm starting to not feel so well, so maybe I should just, you'll be okay. I just need it, But I'm starting to get more and more and more, so I'm getting sick. And I think everybody around could tell, because if you've been around me very much, I love asking questions. So I'm asking all the questions, and I'm kind of driving the conversation, because there's three other people beside me. There's a total of four, and then there's one or two in front of me, and you got the pilot, and I'm asking, where's this? What is this? How high are we? Just I'm that guy you want at a tour, because I'm gonna ask all the questions. But I get real quiet because I'm starting to get real sick. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to embarrass myself. It's gonna be fine. And he's just banking and just banking. And finally he banks up and gets out of this, out of the Grand Canyon, and he starts what looks like heading away from it. I'm like, okay, that's so good. I finally made it. I'm not gonna have to admit to anybody that I was an idiot and I got on this helicopter. And all of a sudden he starts to turn a little bit, and I start to panic, because it looks like he's headed back to the Grand Canyon. And I say to the helicopter pilot, I'm like, sir, are we done? And he starts laughing. He's like, oh no, don't you worry. We're only halfway through this trip. We're just at one end. I'm about to turn around, and this is where it's gonna get real fun. Well, I'm done. I am done. I have no more pride left. I'm fine. And so I just say, sir, can you drop me off? And there's just silence. Like that awkward silence. And it's like, no, I can't drop you off. We're like forever away from the helicopter, pad, where we're going to be. I'm like, if you want to drop me off right here, I see a landing. I will walk my behind all the way back. I'm super sick. I can't hide it anymore. I'm super sick. Another long silence. And he said, well, sir, here's the problem. I have other paying customers here who came to do this, and I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I have to also honor them. And so all I can tell you to do is just stare at the horizon and you'll be fine. And I got it. I wasn't mad about it. I got it. I should have read the fine print, right? And so he does. He goes back in, and I know he wasn't on purpose, but it looked like he just purposely went further into everything. And every time he dipped, so did I. Every time he went up, I continued to dip. And the only way I was able to make it is I just started to stare at the horizon. Because what they say is your insights get all messed up, and so what you've got to do is stare at the horizon and to realize that really the world is not turning around and over. It's just you, right? So I'm staring at the horizon as long as I can see it. But a lot of times I can't see it because we're dipping everywhere, and this guy's living his dream, man. He is showing all of us all of his skills, and I want to kill him, but I can't talk because I'm afraid if I open my mouth, I'm gonna get sick. And so we're probably about 15 minutes left, and at that point, my neighbors start to say, hey, I think we should probably call it a day because this gentleman over here, he's starting to turn shades of green I've never seen before. And you hear the frustration in the pilot. And the thing is, I found out later, is everybody else was starting to get a little sick too. I'm just the scapegoat at that point. And so you can hear the pilot go, okay, fine, sir, we're gonna get you back there. And I hear him radio ahead, because we've all got the headphones in, and he said, hey, I've got one today, go ahead and get ready, whatever. So I realize I'm not the only one. Here's the bad thing. As we're getting closer, I can feel on the inside, without being graphic, I'm not gonna make it, right? I'm gonna get sick. And so he tells me, he said, sir, right in front of you is an evacuation bag if you need one. And I was like, no, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be fine. I wasn't okay. I get probably just about 5 minutes and I just get sick everywhere. I'm so sick. And by the time we land, this was the moment. Honestly, God taught me a lesson in this. He taught me how to have a little bit of patience, because I don't know, I want to believe in my heart of hearts that this guy was not bitter. But this is what he did. He landed, and when he landed, he let everybody else out before me. I'm sitting by a door, and he said, I need you all to get out in the order at which I tell you to, and he tells everybody, and he tells me to go last. So there I am, 6 feet away from freedom. But I'm trying not to be a jerk, right? I'm trying to keep what little bit of pride and self-respect I still have. And so I have got an evacuation bag full, and I'm just there, and I'm just waiting, and I get out, and I'm shaking all the way to the bathroom. And I think the most embarrassing part is that Autumn told me, my wife, for those of you who don't know, my wife told me that she could hear what was going on, and she heard that somebody was getting sick, and she thought that maybe it was me. But one of the helicopters who had also went out, they landed in front of me, and there was a lady who had gotten sick, and she was like, oh good, must have been that lady. Surely it wasn't Brandon, because she didn't get sick or anything necessarily. She was feeling sick. Well, then I get there, and when I get out, and I got a guy who was helping me, and I got my evacuation bag, and my wife was like, that was one of the most embarrassing moments. My husband got sick, and I didn't care. I went to the bathroom, I finished what I had to do, and I vowed in that moment to get on a helicopter again one day. I know that's the dumbest thing in the world, but I want to do it again. Only this time, I want to prepare myself. I'm one of these that I can't stand being defeated, right? And so the moral of the story today is, because what happened is when we got in the car to leave, I was just like so confused. I was like, why did I get so motion sick? Surely you're not supposed to get motion sick. And so I went to Google and I typed it in. And the very first search result that came up was, if you have trouble with motion sickness, never get in a helicopter because it's gonna make it worse. So the moral of the story is, know your limits, read the fine print, and don't be stubborn like me, because I'm gonna get in a helicopter again. But I'm bringing my own evacuation bag, and I don't care how many times I evacuate, I'm gonna do the whole trip. So don't be like me. Don't get in to begin with. But there's my story. I wanna know from you, have you ever been in a helicopter before? Are you motion sick? And have you ever paid the price for your stubbornness? Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to talking to you soon.